right, the next thing on this parade of terror, the Inner Circle's ultimatum, folks. Jericho told them no ifs, ands, or buts, no uncertain terms. They got to get their shit together. They've had 7 days. They're either going to stay together or they're going to break up forever. Oh, the horror. And this was so important that Santana just said fucking didn't show up. Which I assume he's got to be quarantined somewhere.
No, there's apparently a death in his family. And
okay,
we send our condolences.
But I wasn't even saying that he was doing that for real. That's the way that Jericho covered him not being there. He said, and Santana got so pissed off, he just didn't show up for work. They could have at least said because that's the whole thing. Jericho told him they all had to get along or break up. So Santana, couldn't his plane have been canceled and he couldn't be there, but he's willing to go with whatever Ortiz says? Because already Santana not being there on purpose violated what Jericho had laid out for the whole thing anyway. I'm trying to make this logical. They were going to air all their grievances. And MJF gave another great verbal performance. He could even do the over-the-top cheesy stuff. Well, it's natural for him and his personality. It's only when they go into the obvious stupid cooperation that he can't even save it. And Sammy's still mad at him. They started to confront MJF about was he going to throw in the towel, and everybody was seeming to take this halfway seriously. Unlike all the recent Inner Circle interviews, nobody got goofy and hokey, and Ortiz, of all people, was the one to talk sense and bring them together, the one that usually acts like he doesn't know whether to wind his ass or scratch his watch, and he's goofy.
That's what I was going to say. I was really not a fan of Ortiz early on. Like, if you remember, like a year ago, he was always sticking his tongue out and acting
faces and silly, and then here he came.
Yeah, the last month or so, he has kind of delivered. I mean, in the ring, it's still a different story, but at least he's been he's been a human being. He's been a normal guy. Go back and watch a year ago, his tongue's flying all over the place. He's not comfortable on camera, it seems. But he's really come into his own the last few weeks. You got to say that, because I called him out previously for bad shit, but he's been really good.
But Sammy still doesn't like any of it, which is good. You got to have the conflict. Hager and Wardlow are still grumpy at each other, so they didn't, bury that, but they're staying together, folks. I hate to spoil it for you, but they're sticking together. And they all put their fingers in. Instead of doing the Four Horsemen thing with joining hands, they put a fucking fuck you finger in. This was not bad for what the Inner Circle's been doing lately. I'm trying to look on the positive side. They actually kind of were halfway straight with this.
They finally let Wardlow talk, and this is what they do with him? Have him and Hager do a little bit?
Yeah, well, I know.
Sammy's been great. MJF, when he's not getting dragged down to Jericho level, has been great. Ortiz has been great. Wardlow's good. If I was going to have Wardlow finally start cutting promos, this wouldn't be it.
Yeah.
Jericho's a waster at this point in time. And that's really all you could say about it. This went nowhere.
Speaking of nowhere, Officer Bar Brady was back. He was busier on this program than anywhere ever. I will say one thing about Alex Marvez. He's got a great memory. He recited this preamble to this promo, the question that he was pitching FTR and Tully. The problem is that I recognize all the words as being English. I've heard them all before. And if I sit down and think about it, I understand it. But he puts it's so completely devoid of any inflection or emphasis or phrasing. It's just a string of words all put together with no real meaning to it. And just over and over again. And then FTR said some stuff, and I don't know that if I'm sure what anybody said in this interview, except that FTR were saying we're the greatest tag team in the world, and they've done been allowed to do nothing to prove that. What did they say here?
I'm not exactly sure, other than the point I brought up earlier where Tully said that, don't feel too bad about losing because I wasn't with you.
Yeah.
Because he would have stopped all
I could have been there to not interfere like I do every other time. All right, real quick, we're bringing this one home. Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Baker with the Candlestick Maker were in a 6-man tag match with the Lucha Brothers and Lance Archer. 6 heels They're all mad at each other. And they jump-started the match by Lance Archer running to the ring and diving over the top rope onto all three of the other heels who were standing there to catch him. And he's fucking 6'6" and 275 pounds, so I don't see how they could have missed him. And jumpstart, six-way, and everybody hit the floor, and it's a heel versus heel match, and I'm fucking out. And I don't know what the fuck happened. What happened?
I don't know. I will say this, though. Jake Roberts has one thing going for him in wrestling, and that is his ability to cut a promo.
Yeah.
When was the last time Jake spoke?
I don't know.
What is the point of having Jake there to escort a 6'6" guy who runs to the ring? Jake can't run and jumps over the rope and just starts things up. What is Jake's purpose?
Jake never interferes.
Jake doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything.
That's and we are not blistering Jake here, folks.
I'll blister Jake. I'll blister Jake. He enjoys the taste of his own piss. He
enjoys getting paid to do absolutely nothing. But the thing is, everybody's saying, well, what's he supposed to do? Well, something, and that's up to the employer to have a reason for him to be there, to talk or to interfere or to add, not to just walk out and watch what's going on. And it's not like Jake can just go out there and pick up a chair and start wailing people on his own. I guess he could. It'd be entertaining. Why are these people here? Anyway, then after that match in the back, guess what happened? Chaos in the back. All the girls yelling and pointing fingers at each other because Jane Cargill has hit somebody else off camera. And they're yelling at each other.
Like I told you, in AEW, it's pretty safe unless you're one of the female wrestlers. And then it's always just chaos. It's like the way Vince McMahon books midgets. Just everyone behaves like a child and just runs around like crazy, like their head's on fire.
And especially if it's a midget who English is a second language, that's it even better. That's a fucking doubleheader right there for Vince. Then the next match was the AEW Women's Division. No, we didn't get Serena Deeb. No, we didn't get Thunder Rosa. We got Abaddon. The only time I've ever seen Abaddon was when she was on, week or two ago, and she scared old Hikaru Shida because she was crawling to the ring at a glacial snail's pace. She crawled to the ring here, and then she stood up. I couldn't tell she was standing up because she was 4'10", but she was apparently, as I took a second look, standing up. Abaddon is 4'10", pudgy, pale, not just from the makeup, with the worst physique I've ever seen on a female athlete, and a gimmick of horror face paint and contact lenses, and it looks like she might need some Propecia. She's losing her hair. She's got a 5 head, not a 4 head. And this is what everybody's scared of? And she's facing the feared and deadly Tasha Price. So guess what I did for this match?
You pressed pause, you got some popcorn, you came back, and you sat down and watched it.
Well, you'd be right, except that no, I didn't do that. I pressed fast forward, kept the popcorn in the pantry. I fast forwarded to, at the end, Shida came out, the babyface, nails Abaddon in the head with a kendo stick, knocks her flat, and helps up old Tasha Price, and Abaddon does an Undertaker sit-up. So this really is now cosplay wrestling on television, where they're doing it's like one of those European tours they used to have where it was like a WWF tribute show in the 80s. They couldn't get the real names, so they got guys to dress up in Sergeant Slaughter's outfit and Hulk Hogan's boa and whoever the fuck and just gave a cosplay tribute. This is what now they're doing Undertaker shit, the girls over here? What the fuck is this? Have you ever seen this twat before or would ever care to see her again?
I've seen her a few times. I believe she was the one who got injured a few weeks back in a match and they didn't air it. I don't want to see this anymore.
No.
Look, I like a horror movie like everyone else, but she is disturbing. And I'm not saying her as the person. I don't know what she looks like when she doesn't have the Abaddon makeup on, but boy, I do not need to see Abaddon anymore.
Yeah, she needs to do a few sit-ups. She's got a bigger muffin top than old fucking Chuck Taylor.
I'm just the whole visual of the face is just,
I don't know what's going on there. No, I don't know.
Disturbing.